The first diamond coil layer was radiated with plasma energy in order to generate a force field that created a vacuum within it. That, due to its own electrogravitics differentials, generated an energy field within its hollowed space structure that lifted the solid core diamond and forced it to be aligned at the center of the hollowed sphere, which its own electromagnetic field caused it to levitate. This step was what allows the central spherical solid core to spin and rotate to infinity within the space structure of the first spherical coil layer, so it avoids friction and any surface-to-surface contact, which is what enables infinite energy generation, storage, and release. And then the visual that represents it, right? So if you understand the logic, in the previous video I was explaining to you how is it that you put spheres within spheres, right? Start with the core. But even if you have this mechanism, which we did as the creators of infinity, to remove the air from the hollow space, you know, so they create a vacuum. When you remove the air, so the gravity fills the gap, and you know, and that when you fill in the vacuum, it puts it into together, right? But it's a vacuum within it. Just because there is a vacuum within it, and you have a core diamond solid sphere, doesn't mean that it would naturally just levitate. It would just mean that you have a vacuum, and within that vacuum, which is the first coil, spherical coil, it's holding within it a sphere. And if you were to hold it in your hand, you would do this and you would see that there's something turning there, and it's surface to surface contact, because it's a vacuum, but it doesn't mean that there is levitation or electrogravitics differentials yet. So it's just, it means there's no air in it. It's just a vacuum, which is one of the requirements for the Casimir effect, which is what generates this electrogravitics that generates this infinite energy generation. So because of it, then we needed to create the levitation within it, right? So we needed to create this condition, which is the Casimir effect, so there is no surface-to-surface contact. So the solid sphere within the spherical coil that is hollowed doesn't touch each other. So you can have this infinite sphere that is a core, pure, solid diamond spinning to infinity, generating energy and absorbing this energy from the structure vacuum field itself. That's the space structure vacuum field, right? Space structure itself, because of the Casimir effect, that is absorbing all this energy as it spins to infinity and rotates as a sphere does, right? But it needs to do it in a way in which there is electrogravitics, there is differentials, right? And the only way you do that, you need technology. And the way you do that is with plasma energy, because when you radiate plasma energy, you beam it into a sphere that is being hollowed out. The air has been hollowed out. It's a vacuum within it. Because of the properties of diamond itself as a mineral, and the properties of carbon itself as an element, it generates a mechanism known as isotopic differential proportionality. And the isotropic differential proportionality is essentially a mechanism in which the carbon molecules within that vacuum space create a perfect isotopic alignment, meaning the isotopes at the molecular and element level of the mineral itself enters a state of equidistance with all its own molecules and particles. And you do that with plasma energy. So when you radiate plasma energy at a specific rate, which is the isotropic rate, meaning the isotope, the energy charge of diamond itself, at a specific rate, which is the spherical rate of that volume, of that area, of that sphere, which you're targeting with the weight and the mass of both the core diamond and the spherical coil embedding it, and you account for its entire space and area and volume at an isotopic level with plasma energy being radiated, what it does, because there is a vacuum, it distributes its own structure within that space, and it causes what is known as the Casimir effect. And the Casimir effect is this energy tension within two surfaces, right? And what are the surfaces? Well, the surface of the coil embedding the diamond core, the solid diamond core sphere. And because you do that, then it levitates because of the proportionality of the isotopic distribution of the isotopes of that specific mineral, in which case is elements coming together, which is what we know as material known as diamond. So because of that, then you have a levitating massive sphere that is solid inside a vacuum of the spherical coil of this filament that is embedding it. And what does that do? Well, think of Casimir effect. It's a sphere, so it rotates and spins. So you have a natural spinning that if you inject energy to it, if you release energy into it, it's on, because it's a vacuum and it's spherical, it naturally rotates because it's levitating. So it's frictionless. There's nothing holding it. There's no gravity within it. The gravity has been, because of the electrogravitics differentials that I was making reference to, it has been canceled out. So you have this object that has no gravitational pull and it's just simply spinning to infinity. And because it's a sphere and it's airtight, because it's a vacuum, it just spins to infinity within a sphere that is holding it. Okay, I'm talking about the most advanced physics in infinity when it comes to material building and engineering and infinite energy generators that can be built at any scale. You can build one of these generators at the scale of this hand if you like. And then you would have an infinite energy generator tapping into the fabric of existence itself, the space vacuum structure field of energy. And you're going to have an infinite energy generator, DC, AC, whatever you want it, input, output, any rate, because you're tapping into the fabric of the universe itself. The electromagnetic field of energy, moving at that speed of rate with zero pollution. So, okay, an infinite generation, because diamond, as I said, storages, it stores, it releases, and it generates, right? Because it has this vacuum, the Casimir effect, connecting with the quantum entanglement of the fiber of existence itself, the electromagnetic field of infinity, which is infinite energy. And that energy is just being absorbed by its own internal capacity as carbon has, because this is why diamond is the material used, because diamond has this ability to absorb, because carbon is this incredible material that is just, it's a superconductor. And it's not only a superconductor, this is why diamond is used in all these technologies, because it absorbs energy. But it also has the ability to spin to generate it. And because it's a sphere, it just doesn't. And because it's solid, it just goes to infinity within these conditions. But you have to create the conditions with technology. These conditions don't happen in nature, naturally, organically. These are created by human technology, because we're the rulers of infinity. We're the creators of everything. So we discovered these an infinite number of cycles ago. So, okay, so this is what it does, you see? So that's how it works. So then you start to radiate all the coils until you get to 10% mass of the planet. And you have this core of energy. And there's not only one central core having that spin, the prime mover, the first movement, the energy potential that just goes to infinity. But then you have all the other coils within it holding that structure. And they themselves are spinning to infinity because they have another bigger coil, spherical coil, holding it, and it creates that Casimir effect because it's all the vacuum, it's all levitating, it's all aligned, and there is all this space within them. So you have all these infinite spheres spinning to infinity within itself, and it just goes, and then you just infinite energy creation. And that's how it works. So that's just the way it is. And it's not only generating this infinite energy that creates universes, right? Which is the energy that we humans control and mastered an ancient number of cycles ago. But it's also releasing it storing it as a battery or as a capacitor would, and also a generator. So it's everything. And it has all sorts of electrogravitics and telemetry on it. So, because it's everything that exists. So that is the most advanced technology in existence, and it's human technology. It's made by humans. Okay, so this is this video. And obviously there is a visual representing this. So you see, you're starting to understand the physics of creation now.